Amelia brushed a stray lock of caramel hair behind her ear, her gaze fixed on the chopping board in front of her. Her hands, though, didn't move. They were frozen, mirroring the stillness of her heart. How could this be? This was her sanctuary, the place where her soul sang in harmony with the sizzle of pans and the gentle hum of the refrigerator. But today, the melody was lost, replaced by a discordant silence. Her grandmother, the woman who'd passed down to her the recipes that were more than just food, more than just sustenance. Her grandmother had gifted her this Bistro La Belle cuisine as part of a legacy that stretched back generations in France. It was more than a restaurant. It was a storybook brought to life, filled with tales whispered through the clink of glasses and the murmur of satisfied customers. Yet now, as the morning sun streamed through the windows, painting stripes of gold on the wooden floor, the joy that usually bloomed in Amelia's chest was absent. She looked up as the bell above the door chimed, announcing a customer. A woman stood framed in the doorway. Her hair, the color of fallen leaves in autumn, cascaded down her shoulders, complementing a face that held the promise of 1,000 stories. She smiled, a slow curve of her lips that hinted at both mischief and kindness. As she stepped inside, Amelia saw not just a patron, but a potential distraction from the turmoil in her heart. It was just business, she told herself, a transaction of service for money. Nothing more, nothing less. Good morning, the woman said, her voice like warm honey. I have a reservation under Du Bois. Elena Du Bois. Amelia, surprised by the unexpected tremor in her own voice, managed a smile. Right this way, please. She led the woman to a table bathed in sunlight, its surface already set for breakfast. The menu, a testament to her grandmother's traditional recipes, lay open, promising both comfort and familiarity. While taking the order, Amelia kept her eyes downcast, focusing on the worn grooves of the table, the floral pattern of the tablecloth, anything to avoid meeting the woman's gaze. She didn't want to acknowledge the spark that ignited within her, the feeling that threatened to consume her thoughts. As the breakfast dishes were served, Amelia moved with practiced grace, her movements precise, her demeanor professional. With each passing moment, she fought against the pull of the woman's presence, reminding herself that emotions had no place here. When she finally looked up, meeting Elena's gaze, she saw not just admiration in those depths, but an understanding that mirrored her own internal struggle. This is delicious, Elena said, her voice softening the crisp air. The pastries, flaky and light, the coffee, robust and warm, the pain-au chocolate, a symphony of flavors. It felt as if Elena were tasting not just the food, but the essence of Amelia's being. And with each bite, Amelia felt a piece of her guarded heart inching closer to the surface. As the morning deepened, so did the connection between them. They talked not just about food, but about dreams, about passions, about the silences that echoed in their souls. Over cups of steaming tea, Amelia found herself opening up, sharing stories that had remained locked away, hidden even from herself. Elena listened with an intensity that was disarming, her eyes never wavering, promising a safe harbor for Amelia's exposed emotions. By the time the morning sun gave way to the soft hues of noon, Amelia knew she couldn't keep up the pretense any longer. The dam she'd built around her heart was crumbling, threatened to shatter completely. She watched as Elena finished her tea, her gaze lingering on the now empty cup. I need to tell you something, Amelia began, her voice barely a whisper. Elena looked up, her expression a canvas of concern mixed with anticipation. Taking a deep breath, Amelia continued, pouring out the words that had been trapped inside her, choking her, urging her to set them free. I'm sorry if I seem distant, cold. It's just, she paused, searching for the right words, for a way to bridge the chasm that separated them, but also the one that lay within her. It's been a while since I've felt inspired to cook, to create. The joy, the passion, it's been missing from my life. Until today. Until you came in with your warm smile and your kind eyes, you awakened something in me that I thought was lost forever. As Amelia spoke, she saw a myriad of emotions flicker across Elena's face. Curiosity, empathy, understanding, and then a tenderness that made Amelia's heart skip a beat. There was a comfortable silence that followed, a space filled not with awkward pauses, but with the understanding that transcended words. Finally, Elena spoke, her voice soft yet clear. Amelia, your grandmother left a wonderful legacy here, not just in these recipes or these four walls. She left behind a legacy of love, of passion, of a life fully embraced. That, I believe, is what you're searching for, not just the inspiration to cook, but the inspiration to live, to feel, to love. With those words, a weight seemed to lift from Amelia's shoulders. She felt tears pricking at her eyes, blurring the world around her. Elena reached out, her touch gentle, understanding. In that moment, surrounded by the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the lingering warmth of the rising sun, something shifted in Amelia's heart. The gears started turning. The melody began composing itself. She was ready to conduct the orchestra of emotions within her once again. Over the following weeks, La Belle Cuisine came alive with a renewed energy. Amelia's dishes took on a new depth, a richness that mirrored the reawakening in her heart. Customers marveled at the creations that flowed from Amelia's fingertips, each plate becoming a masterpiece. And at the center of this transformation was Elena, not just as a catalyst, but as an integral part of the symphony. Their lunches together became a ritual, a pause in the chaos of the day, a chance to connect before the evening rush. They talked about everything and nothing, laughter echoing through the empty dining room as they shared stories, dreams, and fears. The line between customer and chef began to blur, giving way to a bond that neither of them had anticipated, a connection that resonated in the spaces between their words and the shared smiles that bloomed on their faces. One rainy afternoon, as they sat tucked away in a corner booth, Elena turned to Amelia, her eyes shining with a mixture of determination and affection. "You know, you're the best chef I've ever met, but that's not why I'm here every day, though I do love your cooking," she confessed, reaching out to gently tuck a stray strand of hair behind Amelia's ear. "I'm here because I love you, and I don't want to wait any longer to tell you." Amelia's heart soared, mirroring the freedom of a bird finally released from its cage. Looking into Elena's eyes, she saw a reflection of the love that burned brightly within her own soul. The emotions that had been dormant, buried under layers of grief and obligation, surged to the surface, transforming the familiar bistro into a landscape of newfound hope. The confession hung in the air between them, a tangible thing, charged with the electricity of unspoken desires and rekindled passions. Time seemed to stand still as Amelia, her voice catching with emotion, whispered the words that had been yearning to break free. "I love you too, Elena. More than the recipes in my grandmother's cookbook, more than the stories etched into the walls of this bistro, more than the sunrise that paints the sky with promise each morning. I love you." Hand in hand, their fingers intertwined, they leaned in, bridging the gap between them. The kiss that followed was not just a meeting of lips, but a merging of souls, a testament to the enduring power of love to heal, to inspire, and to transform. As the rain continued its melancholic song inside, two hearts beat in unison, composing a melody of love and belonging.